We are joined by the man of the hour, the man who ended up with Shohei Ohtani's historic 40th home run ball of this season, making him the sixth player in big league history to steal 40 bases and hit 40 home runs in a season. The first player in Dodgers franchise history to do that. The fastest ever to accomplish that feat. Mr. Troy Buenteo joins the show. Troy, first of all, where's the ball right now? And now you've had some days to process this. Just kind of talk about that experience.
Yeah, I got the ball at my house in the safe, and it's been a wild experience. Obviously, my throat hasn't fully recovered, but it's been amazing. A lot of I like a lot of the positive feedback that I've gotten from everybody. It's also something I've never you don't take into account as a fan. Some of the additional things that go along with getting something like this. But I like some of the second and third order effects that that's gone on. I've had a lot of family members that I haven't heard from a long time. Nobody's asking for money or anything like that, but just like, seeing the story and coming out and mentioning it. And I've had a great experience all in all, and I'm thankful for it to have happened the way it did.
Yeah, and just kind of take me through that moment. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. You got the bases loaded. Everyone in that ballpark knows who's coming at the plate, what's at stake, and he does it in grand fashion. Are you anticipating the home run coming your way? Just what were you seeing? And then, of course, the fan originally goes in and out of his glove, goes back onto the field of play. Jose Siri, he takes the ball, he throws it in the crowd. It ends up right where you're seated, but just kind of take me through that moment. Just walk us through that and everything that transpired.
I saw the ball coming, and I knew it was going to be close to being a home run. I couldn't see it from where we were standing there. Everybody was standing up in front of us, but everybody started going wild. It obviously was a home run. I didn't know that it had gone back into the field of play. I just saw it coming back our way. I didn't know if it skipped off of something or what. But man, it was like all my my baseball dreams had come true since I had been like 8 years old. It was coming right at me, and I actually caught it in my glove. And I didn't even have time to close it before it was knocked out quickly. And I don't know, I don't know. It was pure chaos where it landed, which was on us. And I thought it was gone forever. My father-in-law dove on the ground. My son was standing there, didn't know what to do. And I looked down, and it came to rest between my foot and my son's. And I just pinned it against the cement at the base of the bleachers and grabbed it and started going crazy, man. It was wild.
Yeah, we saw you, man, pouring the tall boy beer, just celebrating, looking like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, just going out there, having the moment of your life. And this was your first time at Dodger Stadium, I believe?
Yeah, it was. It was. There's an interesting backstory. I know a lot of people don't like hearing it all, so they're mostly interested in the baseball, but
I want to hear it.
There's some pretty unique circumstances behind it, why that happened.
Interesting. What are those unique circumstances?
Well, to me, it's more powerful in my life than the baseball, right? Like, my wife and I, we moved here from Alabama in 2021. We'd been foster parents in Alabama, and there's this little boy he was in our care. He's been back and forth through the system. He's about 4.5 years old now, and he came back into our lives again, and we filed for custody last year, and we've been going through a pretty bitter custody battle back and forth to Alabama constantly. We've spent a lot of money. It's torn us apart almost emotionally, financially, or psychologically too. And my father-in-law was here in Bakersfield because we had flown to Alabama for what we thought was supposed to be our final placement hearing. And on Wednesday, finally, the judge said that we have full custody of William. He's the little boy that we were fighting for custody for. And And it was such a relief to hear that. And I couldn't do, that celebration that I did at the stadium in the courthouse, obviously, but we flew back. Grateful that he's in our lives permanently now. And I just told my father-in-law, let's just go to a game, man. Let's go check it out. I've never been there. He'd never been there. We're both Cubs fans, and to have an opportunity like that land in your lap at that moment, as all those events kind of coalesced. The ball is great. I like having the ball. That's cool. Maybe I can help some people out, my family and everything like that. But the experience that life has presented me with is far more profound than whatever might come of that ball.
That's really powerful stuff. Really interesting to hear that backstory there, and just kind of paints the whole picture of that moment and what it means to you and your family. Now, as far as what happened immediately after the ball, there's the conversation about the authentication process, the fact that it went back to Siri and Siri threw it back into the crowd. What happened immediately after the ball, and how did the authentication process go?
Well, there was no authentication. There was a security personnel approached me. You could see it in a few of the videos, and he said, "We're going to verify that that's a milestone ball. We'll take you down to center field and do the authentication of it." And he never came back. He just told me to wait there. He never came back. I was just left standing there, not knowing what to do. So I started walking around after about 20 minutes, finding security personnel, see what I was supposed to do. I went through a lot of the different personnel. It seemed like a lot of them didn't know exactly what was supposed to happen. Finally, I ended up at the center field gateway there. It seemed to be the highest concentration of security personnel. Asked them, and then they told me, "Hey, the Dodgers aren't interested in the ball. You're free to leave." And I said, "Well, I'd like to, I'm interested in the ball, and I want to, show people that this happened." And off-duty police officer, or actually, he was on duty. Police officer came over and told me, he said, "There's private organizations that specialize in authentication of those things, and it would have to be done on, through me individually and not through the Dodgers." And so I reached out to the Dodgers, and they actually contacted me last night, one of their representatives, and she confirmed, kind of like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, we're just kind of left standing there. That wasn't supposed to happen." And she apologized, and I'm thankful that she got back to me. And I said, it's kind of messed up. Nobody said anything to me. And she said, "We'd like to reconcile that. I know it was an awkward moment." And she offered she said, "We'd like to offer you a signed baseball. Not sure which player would be available for that." And then she said, they would give us some tickets to the game. And, I was happy, that she at least reached back out and explained it. I think there may be a disconnect in what the security personnel understand is supposed to happen and what isn't supposed to happen. So I think it was just a mistake. And so, now it's clear to me what's supposed to happen. But it was really weird, standing there with this ball amongst all these Dodgers fans, and I'm a Cubs fan. And I know a lot of people probably want it. Nobody was aggressive or anything like that. But it was weird standing there having that item on you.
So are you going to pursue authentication of the baseball, and will you be able to do that? And what do you expect the kind of the value will to be for this ball ultimately?
I have pursued getting the baseball authenticated through a private agency, and I'm not sure what the cost will be for it, but I know it'll be a lot more than what I've already been offered, which is significant amount. Nothing over 6 digits, but definitely over 5 digits. And I told them I wouldn't, announce to everybody what the actual bids were, offers were. But I know if I don't get it authenticated, I'm losing. Whatever I got to spend on the authentication, I'd make it back with it being authenticated at that point. So, but I don't know if I want to sell it or not. I don't know if I want to auction it. I don't know, but I know whatever ends up being the case, it's best to get it authenticated. And so that's what I'm going to do.
So ultimately, are you happy with how the Dodgers handle this situation? If the Dodgers reached out to you and said, hey, Troy, we invite you back to the stadium, you take a picture with Shohei Ohtani, get some autographed baseballs, get a bat, maybe some tickets, would you accept something like that? Or do you think ultimately it's either you keep the ball or you sell the ball?
Am I happy with how it was handled? Not really, not really. I kind of I don't want to sound bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm really not bitter. I know it's a weird situation for everybody. I get it. But I definitely, I think we've reconciled that whole, whatever happened at the end of the game. We've reconciled that for sure, and I'm not mad about it. I'm super happy about that. It's gone the way it has, and it went that way for a reason. So, it was weird, strange. I'm sure there's a lot of things that could have been done better, but I'll move forward from it, and I'm not going to speak badly about the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, the moment is the moment. You're the guy who ended up with a piece of history, so you can cherish that. There's no doubt about that. But we thank you so much, Troy. We congratulate you for ending up with that ball. Whatever you decide to do with it, the moment is the most special part of it all. Wouldn't you agree?
I do.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. We hope to see you at more Dodgers games. We hope to see you convert from a Cubs fan to a Dodgers fan. I'm telling you, Dodger Blue is better than Cubs Blue. I can tell you that. But have a great rest of your day. And whatever you do decide to do with that ball, man, just let us know anytime you make a decision, my man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That was Troy Buenteo, the man who ended up with Shohei Ohtani's 40th home run ball. Sounds to me like he's going through that authentication process. We'll see how much it ends up going for, if they can prove that it's his. There is a complication, of course, anytime you leave the stadium. For me, I'm not leaving that stadium until someone authenticates that baseball. You're going to have to drag me out of Dodger Stadium unless that's authenticated, because at that point, you fear that it's worth $24.99. which is the price of a Major League Baseball, right? You don't want it to be that price. But I truly believe, though, at the end of the day, it's like, it really is the moment itself. And the story with his family and just having that moment, how spectacular and special that was. I mean, that really, at the end of the day, you can't put a price on that. And you can't put value on that that's monetary. So at the end of the day, I think it was a cool moment. But let me know down below in the comment section, what would you do with that baseball?